We're chatting with Scott Cheek, an area painter. Scott shares how he got into art, the current Lacrosse Art Scene, and why his work touches on a variety of social issues. His themes also refer to celebrity, pop culture, rap music, and he even works on a variety of canvases, from walls, shoes, hats, and whatever else he can get his hands on. I'm Amy, and he's Brent, and this is Lacrosse Local.
My name is Scott Cheek, just like on your face. I was born in the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia, a town called Bedford. As far as art goes, I've been drawing and painting going on 25 years now. However, the concept of being an artist versus being an artistic person has definitely changed for me within the last 2 years. It used to be something that I never really wanted to answer when somebody said, "Oh, are you an artist?" Till recently, I feel like I made a cognitive decision to be an artist instead of just being artistic. I would say I've been invested in art for just around 2 years now.
So what was that big change? I mean, what was the impetus for actually making that decision?
I was in an aesthetics class at Western with Douglas Weidenbach, and he said something to our class in reference to Ashton Hall, and it was that Ashton is a local artist because Ashton manifests herself or displays herself to the public as an artist. So it kind of came across to me as this: in order to be an artist in the world, you really have to make a cognitive decision to be an artist. It is a hard line in the sand that you draw, as opposed to just kind of falling into it, I guess.
Kind of perusing your Instagram account, your work seems to speak a lot to societal issues, hot topics that are happening right now. Why do you choose some of these topics?
A lot of the things that I like to talk about in my art, which I prefer to do, a lot of symbolism and speak to those issues as opposed to just the beautiful, as it were, or would be explained in aesthetics. Because I kind of took it from a concept that you would hear with writers, and they always say, write what you know. Pretty much everything that I do dissolves down to socioeconomic status, poverty. It all really kind of comes back to money and income equality and things of that nature. So growing up poor and still even now not being rich by any means, it's something that I can definitely relate to, and I feel like others can as well.
Looking at some of your work, I saw immediately Third Eye Boisterous. Looks like a painting. Mm-hmm. And as you said in the comments, it's highlighting people's willingness to speak their minds before seeing another's plight. It seems more relevant than ever when you look on social media. How did a work like this come together?
The concept for it actually came from the band name Third Eye Blind. I'm kind of sad to say, but it kind of like sparked this whole concept of, that third eye, that all-seeing, all-knowing aspect of people, or empathizing aspect of people being blind. And I was thinking about it less today that it's blind and more that the eye itself has been replaced with a mouth spouting, as opposed to trying to listen or understand anything else. It simply imposes its own views and concepts before trying to take any empathetic path whatsoever. So yeah, and I really wanted that one to be that stereotypical Congress Senate man, cheap tweed jacket, liver spots and whatnot, to kind of speak to, at the time I believe we were speaking on women. As far as socially, it was one of those things with, my body, my choice. However, this old white man is saying, no, it's not your choice kind of deal, spouting out the mouth. So that's really where all of that kind of stemmed from, was somebody else trying to tell you what you can and can't do with your own body.
Some of your other work, you touch on police brutality, the celebrity, pop culture. I see, you got some rap music icons in there. Looks like you work on a variety of mixed media, from walls to shoes to hats. It seems like whatever else you can get your hands on. So how did that start?
Well, that all started with, I used to do, and still do actually, reproductions of famous works on hats. It was really one of my first things that people actually were coming up to me and saying, hey, I really like that hat. Where'd you get it from? Oh, well, I painted it. Well, how much can I give you to take that hat from you right now? Kind of deal. I was like, well, if I can paint on a hat, I can paint on shoes. And as far as the walls go, my mom never told me to not draw on the wall, so that's always been an angle for me. The pop culture stuff, as far as, I'm assuming you're talking about Biggie and Tupac and everything on the uncut currency, those are all stemming back to, you know, money inequality and socioeconomic status, where the things that brought those pieces about were quotes from Tupac and Biggie. Of course, everybody knows the famous Biggie line, "Mo money, mo problems." Tupac had this one that was the reason why he was done, was if there was no money and everything depended on your moral standards, the way you behaved, treated people, how would you be doing in life? That really resonates with me. I kind of like to have those juxtaposed, putting them directly on uncut currency, which I didn't know that you could buy until a little while ago. And the police brutality thing, it is a huge thing in our world right now, and it's affecting everybody. Anything that I can do to make any points on that. I just finished up a painting on police brutality that just sold, and it will be being picked up here not too long from now. And I plan on donating some money from that to help the cause in as many different places that I can.
Living in the area, you know, Lacrosse County, where do you see perhaps the lacrosse art scene going? What do you desire to see happening in this community, or is it happening already?
I think that the lacrosse art scene has a lot of potential. However, I feel like it needs more spaces and galleries more akin to the nature that Gold Heart and Ashton Hall's Studio Gallery are putting together. These spaces where the gallery cut is minimal to nothing, as opposed to some of the more well-known gallery areas who are going to take a 40% cut from the artist's sale, not to mention a fee for your work to even be seen by the gallery. So a lot of the new and up-and-coming artists aren't physically able to throw down $50 to have their work judged to see if it's even good enough to be in the gallery, let alone take almost 50% of the sale from these, you know, starving artists. We have the potential to have a very good and very robust art scene here, assuming that we can get more establishments that are, in my opinion, more on the side of the artist as opposed to the capital that the artists are pulling in.
What have you been working on? I mean, you know, we're all kind of in our houses now with COVID-19. What's next for you? What are you looking forward to?
I have a couple of pieces coming up that I'm pretty excited about. Usually with the gallery shows that I do, there's some sort of theme or something, and I try to pander to that, as well as when I do commissions, you know, that's obviously what the person wants. However, I do have a little bit of free time for me, which is where I end up getting all of these pungent political works that are coming out. And I've had this concept for almost a year now that I'm really excited. I got started on it. I got the canvas gessoed a couple of days ago, so I'll get started on that one soon. It's 3 foot by 4 foot, so it's very large, and it'll be based on the concept of tithes from the church. I also would really like, if, you know, at all possible, I'm sure I'll be trying to work with the Lacrosse Arts Board and some of those people to perhaps get another permission wall here for lacrosse, similar to the one that we have down at the skate park, but maybe a little bit more accessible and closer to downtown and visible for people to see. I would also really like to get a large mural done sometime in the near future. Who knows by when, but I'd really like to get a nice sized mural done in the lacrosse area.
So if people want to follow you and find out what's going on, where can they find you?
Best places to follow me is going to be on my Instagram at gscottcheek and Facebook, of course, at Scott Cheek.
Lacrosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at Lacrosse Locals. Subscribe to the Lacrosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.